What up guys, it's your boy That's It Zach here, and for today's video we're going to talk about my 8-week cut that I did for the Quebec national qualifications. So the topics that we're going to talk about today, we got nutrition, the water cut, the training breakdown, the boxing breakdown, the recovery and rehab, and the supplementation. So we're going to dive into each topic slowly by slowly and let you guys know how I went from 220 pounds all the way down to 200. And if you haven't seen what happened and the results, I'll put a little card up here so you can see what happened for the Quebec qualifications results. It'll be like in the top right there. Number one, nutrition. So for the nutrition part, we're gonna break it down slowly as well. We're gonna have a couple categories. The first one was my starting weight was 220. My goal weight was 200. My macro split was 18 to 20% protein, 50 to 60% fat, and 20 to 30% carb. Again, on this diet, I went for more of a higher fat-based diet to spare glycogen storage due to the immense training that was happening. So I started off with one training session a day in the earlier weeks, which is roughly at week 8. And as the weeks got lower, it turned into almost 2 a days. And the last 4 weeks was pretty much 2 a day every day, which encompassed recovery days and everything, but it's pretty much 2 a day every day. And sparing glycogen is pretty much what I wanted, and that long distance training that I was doing pretty much for 2 sessions of anywhere between an hour and a half to 3 hours twice a day. I wanted to spare the glycogen so I never run out, and it has been shown that a keto type diet does spare glycogen storage, so that's the reason why I went for it. I designed the program myself, I tried it out, it worked perfectly, and I'm gonna tell you why. So, my BMR to start with, okay guys, this is how I figured everything else out, okay? So my BMR is 2,300 calories. My total daily expenditure is 3,800 calories, which means on one of my low days, I'll probably be at 2,800 calories consumed, maybe up to 3. And on the higher days, which was the more intense training days, I went up to 3,300 to 3,500, really depending on those days. Because at the end, my caloric deficit was anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000 at the max, to a base of maybe 500 calories on those days. Now, for what I consumed, protein-wise, it was beans, lentils, chickpeas, pea protein, Move. There's a discount code. I'll put it in the link below. If you guys want some Move protein, which is a pea protein blend, and they just updated the formula, turned it into a edamame bean blend, which was actually super delicious. And then tofu and tempeh, I pretty much played around with that. My carbs highly consisted of fruits, veggies, brown rice, sweet potato, and quinoa. Didn't have anything else, no bread, no nothing. I just stuck to that. And then for my fats, it was olive oil from Italy. I don't really trust the ones here. I don't cook my oils either. I pretty much added them on top. Avocado, coconut oil, avocado oil, walnuts, coconut butter, and then a whole bunch of like sesame seeds or pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds or something along those means. And then that was pretty much the like nutrition breakdown. All right. How I calculated my calories and the amount I needed, again, I'll put a little card up here. You guys can go see how I did that. I have a whole video on how to count your calories, how to set your goals, how to do all that, so you guys can go check that video out as well. Let's jump into the water cut now. Now, usually for water, this is like a biggie for most people. I feel personally, I've been on the lower end where I've cut almost 10 pounds of water, and I've been on the I've been on the higher end when I've cut almost 12 pounds of water, and I've been on the lower end when I've cut roughly 3 pounds of water. The less water I lose, the better I feel, and that's just a statement for everywhere. You're dehydrated, you feel like shit, you malperform, everything doesn't function well. So I wanted to lose the least amount of water as possible, and my goal was to lose 3 to 4 pounds of water at the max. That's it. So what I did here was 4 days prior, I drank roughly 8 to 10 liters of water every day, so leading up to it. And what I was gonna do was that the day before, roughly 12 hours to 18 hours before I did the weight cut, I would stop drinking water. That way my body would think I would have so much to come in because of the prior days of drinking so much water, and then I would be able to just sweat it out because my body would be like, we have so much coming in, so let's just keep dishing it out. And then usually with me, this is like, happens all the time. I did it last year for national qualifications and at nationals. when I do a weight cut like that, if I go to sleep, I usually lose another 2 pounds of water. So I know that if I lost 2 to 3 pounds of water, I can go to sleep, I can wake up and I'll be perfect on weight. So if I was 206, if I lost 3 pounds of water, like 203, and then if I went to bed, I'd wake up at roughly like 201, something like that. Now for the training program, okay, so this changed a little bit. I made a program specifically on how to periodize your training program and what to look out for, what to do dependent on your sport and your niche and what your needs are. Now, if you want to go check that video out, it's going to be, again, I'll put a little card. You guys can go check that one out. But this is what I did, okay, for this 8-week camp. So I did 3 weeks of strength training, which involved 3 days of full body workouts, which consisted of front squat, overhead press, bench, deadlift, trap bar deadlift, pull-ups, single leg squats, single leg hypertrophies, which are also known as Bulgarian split squats. And that's pretty much, that's it. I just stuck to those for 3 weeks, put as much strength emphasis as I could on it. Then I did a week of maintenance, which consisted of 3 to 4 days of calisthenics, just body weight. So dips, pull-ups, inverted rows, push-ups, variations of push-ups, playing with incline, decline on the push-ups, single leg squats, body weight squats, lunges, like everything body weight wise, that's what I did. Handstand push-ups. Then we finished off with 4 weeks of explosive power training. So this would be kettlebell work, snatches, dumbbell snatches, because my wrist, I actually hurt it prior to the camp. So I didn't want to make it worse, especially as the training got harder. My body would have been stressed too much. So I stuck to kettlebell snatches because it didn't hurt. I mean, dumbbell snatches because it didn't hurt. We had ball slams, ball tosses, ball throws. We had sled push, sled pull, wood choppers, clap push-ups, hops, depth jumps, bounds, ladder drills, pretty much stuff like that, really. And then the boxing training itself consisted of Wednesday to Saturday, where Saturday was my sparring sessions. And then during the week, it would be a consistence of skills training, bag work, heavy bag work, pads, technical drills, hit training on the bag, cone drills, maybe a lighter day recovery boxing training after a heavy 2 days of boxing with my coach. So we stuck to more shadow boxing skills, working on slips and stuff like that. So I was pretty much training every day, no days off. And then my Sunday to Tuesday was pretty much watching fights, watching my prior fights to see where I fucked up, my mistakes, visualizations for what I wanted to perform, what I was working on, and just constant repetition of what we worked on from Wednesday to Saturday. So I was always training my mental status, because your brain really doesn't know the difference between you doing the action and you thinking the action. You still get that same neuromuscular response and firing, so you're still practicing. So visualization is key when it comes to anything you're doing. Now, recovery and rehab, this is a big one. I think a lot of boxers miss this one out completely, and they hit it out of the park and they ignore it. They think that a little bit of stretching is what's gonna make them feel better. But if you think about it, you're training almost twice a day, every day. You're putting your body through impact training, which is just damaging your muscles, damaging your body. So recovery was a big one for me. So I took cold showers every single day, twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. And I've done a video on cold showers, how to do it, how to implement it, and what I like to do. So again, I will put that on top so you guys can go check that whole video out. I took ice baths roughly once a week. My athletic therapist has a chamber where I can just kind of sit down. Do I fit in it? Yeah, I fit in it. I put my whole body, especially my hands. I'm punching a lot, so people usually like to put their arms on top. I put my hands inside and my elbows and everything. So I was just sitting in there for roughly 10 to 20 minutes. Again, you don't need to do that. 3 minutes to 5 minutes is sufficed, but I like to go a little more. Sauna sessions 3 to 4 times a week at the end of my day. And in the sauna, I would do trigger point release with my lacrosse ball, with my foam roller. I would do yoga inside. I would stretch. If I didn't go in the sauna, I would just do yoga in the morning and at night all the time. I would go to yoga sessions. I would have a light recovery day where I'm working under 60% of my max heart rate. So my heart rate would roughly be, my resting heart rate is roughly at like 52 to 48, sometimes 55. So anywhere for me, for like 80 beats to 110 is a very, very light day, and I would definitely do that. I did infrared treatment. I have a machine and I would infrared areas that I found I overused just to reduce some of that inflammation and cause the mitochondrial cells to adapt and recover and get rid of that metabolic waste. And then treatment, of course, mobility training with my elastics. I have a bag I carry with them everywhere, and I'll do that roughly 3 times a week. A lot of people said, how do you know when you're in that zone of like recovery? Well, I use Polar's M600. I'll put like a link on their website or on Amazon where you guys can get one of these. There's also the Fitbit and stuff like that, but Polar itself, the company, is really good when it comes to targeting your heart rate. Like Garmin is really good for triathletes and marathon runners and cyclists that want the GPS system and everything, and Garmin is a GPS company, and Polar is just really, really well at constructing their items or their gear for the heart rate, and that's where I need the most. I will be buying the chest strap so I don't have to wear this when I'm wearing my boxing gloves, and that way I can have this close enough to me but be wearing this and I'll be good to go. And also what's good about their heart rate monitor, that you have what the strap that goes around your chest. I think it's the Polar H7 heart rate monitor. That one you can do your heart rate variability, which is a big step up in the game of sports, where you can see how your all-cause mortality and heart rate variability is one thing that really dictates. Honestly, if you guys want to know more, I'm not going to get into it now. Go look at heart rate variability and why it's so important, because I could spend a whole bunch of time talking about it, and that's not the point of this video. All right, so next, supplementation. What do I take? What do I take as a vegan? What do I take just in general? What do I think everyone else should take? And then what did I take in this camp? So we got protein from Move, which I said before. We have creatine from Optimum Nutrition. I just always take their brand, I trust it. I took beta-alanine. I took a mushroom blend from Primal Herb. Again, Primal Herb, I got a discount code for you guys. It's down below, you guys can go check it out. It's lion's mane, reishi mushroom, chaga, cordyceps. Cordyceps plays a big part when it comes to like ATP energy and making you feel really focused and concentrated. So that was one supplement I took as well, and I took that in either my coffee, in my smoothie, in my oatmeal bowl. I kind of just mixed it in. We had fresh juices that I had along with me all the time, because that surplus of training and the decrease in calories, I needed the micronutrients, so getting those from the fresh juices. I really love their green juice. I've done a video on them and why it's so important and what's the benefits of having it. Again, I will put that link up above. And then I've also really enjoyed their beet juice, which I would have sometimes, and then on days where I didn't want to drink the juice, but I just wanted the beet nitrates that are inside beets, I had Chronobar. I'll put their link down below. They have a beet powder that I've been looking for forever, and lucky enough I got to talk to the owner, and then she sent me some, so I used their supplement, their beet supplement, roughly on a longer training day. So like if I'd have like a 3-hour training session, I definitely added those. Omega-3s and multivitamins from the Protein Works. They're a UK brand. They don't ship here, so I had one of my friends that lives there that came to visit me to get a whole bunch and then brought it here for me. They make a vegan one, so I stuck to that one. And then vitamin B12 from Land Art Supplements. It's a Canadian brand. They make a vitamin B12 supplement and a chlorella liquid bottle. So I had those two from there, and I'm pretty sure that's it. Oh yeah, and then just in general, it's winter here in Montreal, and I take D3. But that's it for the supplements, that's it for the training, that's it for the breakdown. That's the whole list. That's my 8-week cut, and yeah, I'm gonna make another video on my 8-week training program for nationals, since qualifications is done, and then there'll be a whole series on that. But that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It's your boy, That's It, Zach. You know what it is. Don't forget to click that notification bell again, guys. It's down below, just like it was in the beginning. So go check it out. I got a lot of videos coming out for you guys now. I have more time, the fight's over, so I can spend more time actually making these, and going through programs like this can actually help you guys. So I hope you like this. So give me a thumbs up if you did like it. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't. I would still like to know. But that's it. It's your boy, punch, headbutt, elbow.
This is now a real threat to every doubt in your head.